minus 4a. What's the very first thing? We've done this 2 or 3 times. This is the 3rd time, so hopefully we know what we're going to do first. Tori. Okay, what am I doing?
Combine like terms.
What are my like terms?
Negative 5a and negative 4a.
Negative 5a and negative 4a. What is negative 5 minus 4? Kaden.
It would be negative 9a.
Negative 9a.
What?
What do you think it is, Lance?
Negative 5. Oh, it's because of, I got it.
Because remember on our number line we start at negative 5. We're subtracting 4. So are we going forward or backward? How many times are we going backwards? 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you totally don't have to do it the way I do it. I just know that that's how my number line is. So I just write it out. And it's negative 9 because that's where I ended up. Okay? What's the next thing I'm going to do? Negative 9 equals negative 9a. Tanner.
You divide negative 9.
I divide by negative 9. Good. These cancel out, right? So a is, everybody? 1. Ooh, I heard negative. Do we know why it's not negative? Okay, because our Tariana, why is it not negative?
Because they're both the same like sign. So say one is positive.
Good. Yes, sir.
Oh, with the negative 5.
Good. You both said it perfectly. When you divide 2 negatives or multiply 2 negatives, your answer is a positive. If you have a negative and a positive, your answer is negative. Yes, Willow.
I didn't do that, and I still got 1.
Do what?
I didn't do that, but I still got 1.
You didn't do that, but you still got 1. Did you just?
I don't know what that is.
I think you just subtract 5 from 4.
We'll make sure that you're watching what I'm doing and maybe see where you caught where you might have gone wrong. Lance, you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is it minus 4? Like, why is it like minus 4 but you use it as a negative? Wouldn't it be like negative, like minus negative 4?
Okay, with what you're saying minus a negative 4. That's what you just said. That's what you're telling me. Isn't it when you subtract a negative, you're technically adding?
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing here, is it? We're just subtracting 4. Does it look better when maybe if we flip that around and put the negative 9 over here? Like this? Like take it away? Does that look better? Maybe the way it was placed?
I mean, no, it's just that, like, I don't get it. Like, negative 5 minus 4 would be negative 1. So, I just...
That's 5 minus 4.
That's 5 minus 4. You have to just pay attention. If what you told me a second ago, negative 5 minus a negative, like that's going to have to be in a parentheses so that you know that there's a minus and a negative. It's not saying that that's negative 4. It's just saying you're subtracting 4. We'll do a couple more, okay? All right. Okay, let's go on to number 2 though. We have negative 7 equals negative 2r plus 3 plus 2. What's the first thing I'm going to do? Hopefully by now we know. Okay, got something name. I'm looking at your end. So put A. I got that much right. I want to say Aubrey, but that's all right. What is it? Addison. Okay, what am I doing, Addison? What are my like terms? 3 and 2. So what's 3 plus 2, guys? 5. So I bring everything down, right? Okay. What's the next thing I'm going to do? We have negative 7 equals negative 2r plus 5. Kaden.
You'll take your 5 and turn it into a negative with minus it by 7. Or minus it.
Good. Because he did the opposite. He did the inverse of that. So we're doing, here we go, Lance. Here's one that we're doing, okay? We're starting with what number? Negative 7. What's it saying for us to do? Subtract what? 5. So am I going forward or backward?
Backward.
How many times? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What am I left with? Where did I land? Negative 12. Okay, bring down my negative 2r. Okay? Does that help?
Yeah, I'm kind of getting it, but it's
That's okay.
I'll stop this one later. Sorry.
That's okay. What's the next thing I'm going to do, Willow?
Are you gonna do the 12 minus, like that's plus negative 2r?
Well, the whole point is we want to keep the variable on one side and our number on the other. So it's telling us right here, negative 2 times r. So what's the opposite? We're multiplying by r here, so what do we need to do instead?
Divide.
Divide by what? By the negative 2. Right. Good. So negative 12 divided by 2 is 6. It's what?
Just 6.
Just 6. Because we have negative 12 divided by negative 2. Remember our integer rules, when you multiply or divide two negatives, it's positive. Okay? Same as always. What is it? What do you all say? Same as always, positive. So fancy.
I don't know why, but I always get the over wrong, but then once I get into it, I start getting,
That's what I do.
everything just starts going back.
Yeah, that's okay. We learn from our mistakes.
I just keep on forgetting and remember everything and forget.
Well, this way you're learning from your mistakes. Okay, 3 is pretty easy. And hopefully by now, this is the third time we're doing it, everybody's hands are going to be raising, so tell me what we're going to do very first thing. Mr. Lance, we are wanting to find out what M is, so what am I going to do? Aggie. Combine like terms. So what are my like terms? I want to say Isaac, but that's not it. Is it? Yes, I got so excited. Okay, what are them? Combine M and M, which is?
2 M's.
2M. M and M's. Okay, what am I going to do next? Someone I haven't heard from. Oh, why do I want to say Tyler? No, there is a Tyler that sits there though. Don't tell me. Okay, tell me. Trey. So I knew it was a T. I knew it was a T. What am I doing, Trey?
Divide 6 2.
So I'm dividing by 2?
Yeah.
It's 3. Good. Pretty easy. Okay, on to number 4. Negative 3 equals 3 minus 5n minus n. Okay, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I want to say Emma. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, what am I doing? Which are?
5 and negative 5 and
Just n or negative or minus n. Okay, so what is negative 5 minus 1 n? Your name is on the tip of my tongue. Tell me.
Carter.
Carter. Oh, don't we have a Carter here and then a Carter there? I'm pretty sure. Not in the same class. Okay, what am I doing?
Negative 5 plus 1 n is negative 6n.
Negative 6n. Good. Okay, what's the next thing I'm going to do? We've already taken away that. Aggie,
Would it? Oh, never mind.
never mind.
Yes.
What was your thought?
Oh, I was gonna say active, unless that's the division. So, then never mind.
Would it help if I switched it around this way?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like that. This makes me a little bit nervous. I like to have them on this side. So now what am I going to do?
We're gonna add 6.
I'm going to add 6. Remember, we want the variable on one side and the number on the other. So we want to get rid of whatever's in front of the variable, right? So what am I going to do to carry on?
And since it's a positive 3, you're going to subtract 3 from it.
Subtract 3. See, you see what I'm doing there? We want to get rid of whatever's in front of it. So that's considered a positive 3, even though there's no little plus in front of it. We have to get rid of it, so we have to do the what? The inverse. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
You got to subtract 3 from both sides. Bring down our negative 6 in. Negative 3 minus 3 is Willow.
Positive 6.
No, I can't hear you. What?
Positive 6.
Okay, you're starting at negative 3. We're subtracting 3.
Oh, okay. It's negative 6.
It's negative 6 because you're going backwards. So you have to go that way on the number line. When we're doing the very last step, everybody knows what the very last step is to do. Isaac. Divide by negative 6 on both sides. Good. Negative 6 divided by negative 6 is everybody. 1. Good. I heard a negative in there. Do we know why it's not negative?
Symbol is positive.
Good. This one's just like this one. This one's pretty easy. What's the very, very, very first thing I'm going to do? I've heard from a lot in the middle and on this side, and I know there's, I want to say Kylie. All right? So what am I doing, Kylie? What are my like terms? Good. So, negative 3p minus 2p is? Tanner.
Negative 5p.
Negative 5p. Very last step you do. Carter.
Divide negative 5
Divide negative 5.
with
Okay. So 5 divided by negative 5 is? Tori. Positive 1. I have a positive 5 divided by negative 5.
Negative.
That's okay. Negative 1. Good. Hopefully, this is catching on because a lot of the stuff that we're going to do today, if we're paying attention, is going to kind of include stuff like this, okay? Okay, so do you have your piece of paper out, your piece of graph paper? Okay. Do you have your dry erase marker out? If you have yours, get it out, please. If you don't have one, I will bring one to you, or I'll have someone bring one to you. What did I just say? If you don't have one, I will bring one to you, or someone will bring you one. Okay, Richmond, you do not have one. So I hope by next class we'll have these with us, because you're going to need it not just for this class, but you'll need it for PACE as well. And you're going to need it probably every day. Okay. So we're starting with a story of ratios, lesson 1, writing equations using symbols. So let's do a little bit of history. Back in the 1600s, I know this is not history class, but this has something to do with it. In the 1600s, there was this really important guy. His name, I'm going to butcher it, but I've always heard it as René Descartes. If you can see the way it's spelled, it doesn't look like how you would say it at all. He was the one that introduced letters to represent mathematical statements. So, like words like adding, stuff like that. Okay? Because most of the time, we would write everything out then. Like, I'm going to add 5 to 20, divide it by 2, do all this. Well, why have to write out I will add 2 to 20. That takes too long, so we replace it with numbers, letters, and symbols. Okay? So when you're writing an equation, what makes an equation an equation? What makes it specifically an equation? Willow.
It'll have like a plus or minus or some sort of sign.
It will have some sort of sign. That's right. Yeah, you're going to have plus, minus, divide, who knows? Tariana.
In equation, you know, I was like, this one.
Exactly. In equation, you're always going to have an equal sign. Always have an equal sign. If it does not have an equal sign, what is it considered? It starts with an E. Kylie. An expression. If it does not have an equal sign, it's an expression. Do you have a question, Trey?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do equations have more than one operation?
Sometimes they do. Like, haven't we had to do more than one thing when we're doing our bell ringers? We've had to add, we've had to subtract, do the inverse. But those are still equations, so yeah, you're right. So, kind of to go along with that, you're going to make a list here in a second. How about we just go ahead and make our pretty little chart. You're going to make your chart on your paper. And in case you need to know this, I wrote it down in my notes that you know an equation is an equation because it has an equal sign. An expression does not. Okay, in case you want to write that down. Okay, you're going to make a pretty little chart. Okay, while you're finishing that up, like what we were talking about earlier, like what Willow was saying, what are some things that we're going to do to these equations? What are some mathematical things that we're going to do? You can tell me one of them that you think that you're going to do. Like the basics of math. What was that, Carter? Add, addition. Okay? What's something else you can do to an equation? We have addition, so we can have, yes, what we're doing so. Subtraction. Tanner. Division. Okay. Aggie. Multiplication. And then, of course, our equation has to have what again? An equal sign. So your last column there, we're going to call that equal. Okay, so in addition, what symbols do we use for addition? Tori? A plus sign. Is there any other symbol for addition? No, there's not. Okay, what about subtraction? What's our symbol for subtraction, CJ?
Minus.
Minus. Now put those, we're putting the little symbols above our little columns. Is there any other one for subtraction? I think that's it. Division. Tariana. A bar, like a fraction bar. So you have like a numerator and your fraction bar and a denominator. Lance. Dot. A line and dot. I want to say Andrew? What is it?
The box thing.
The box like the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we called it a house. I don't know if you all called it a house. But you have like 4
Yeah, that.
and 12 like that inside the house. What's another one, Aggie?
Like the slash.
Like the slash in like a fancy way of writing a fraction. Now with equations, we're probably not going to see it like the old school, like kindergarten way, or actually we learned division in 2nd, 3rd grade. We're probably not going to see that in an equation because it's going to look really scary. So we're not going to do that. Most of the time you see them as a fraction. Sometimes you see it with the actual division sign, but most of the time in equations you're going to see it as a fraction. Anybody else think of a division one? I think we covered them all. Okay, what about multiplication? Is it Jaxie? Okay, what?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. Good. Have two numbers and put them in parentheses. Isaac. Dot. Just a dot. Okay. Willow.
Side by side.
Side by side.
Yeah, side by side.
What if the numbers are right beside each other?
No, it's like,
Look at coefficient
yeah, it's like,
variable.
yeah.
Okay, I understand. I thought maybe we were just talking about like side by, like that kind of side by side, which in a way it could be like, say if we had 4 in parentheses and X in parentheses, it's side by side kind of thing. Tariana,
Just,
just a regular X. But will we ever see that in an equation?
No.
No, because what is X understood to be as?
Variable.
A variable. So you can leave it on there, but just know when we're doing equations, you're not going to see it on there, okay? Because we use that as a variable. Equal sign. What's the symbol for equal sign? Tanner. Just the 2 bars. That's pretty much it. That's all there is. Okay. So now we're going to go back and add some examples, like some word problems you've done. We've all done them. There are key words in a word problem that tell you what you're going to do. Okay, so what's like a key word for addition that's going to tell you that you're going to add? Lance. That's okay. Let me come back to you. Carter. In all. Good. Lance. Some. Is someone?
Did that last year.
Was it some is? I think I remember. I can't remember what we put last time.
Yeah.
Okay, what's another one? Aggie.
Together.
Together. I hope you know I gave you all one and no one said it yet. Tanner. Add. So smart. I wonder where you heard that from. She must be awesome. Tariana.
I don't know if it's right. How much more? There's a try. It's a try. I don't know.
That's a good try. That's good. That's okay. Carter.
Equal,
Equal.
like equal
What is?
Is that, are you telling me that I'm adding something? When I hear that, I don't think adding. We'll come back to that one, okay? How about we come back to that one? What about, oh, Kylie. Plus.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that down.
That's okay. CJ.
as much as.
As much as, Miss Embry, would you say? I think that's one of those tricky ones. Depends on what it's asking.
I think so, because it depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
It has to be equal.
Yeah, it could be equal. Like I could have as much as, or as many pencils as you. I could have the same amount. So it just depends on what you're asking. I have one. Oh, Trey, do you have one?
Yeah, I was wording this one. Like,
Okay.
somebody says there are 2 boys and 1 girl, like, would and be addition?
Is it asking, is it, again, that would depend on what the total, does it say what's the total? Because then, yeah, so that one's,
We put and on equal.
Total.
And
Total?
Total would be equal, wouldn't
That
What
could be
total?
anything.
That could be anything. I mean, like you could have a total of so many. I have one. What about increase?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
Because we can increase like I'm driving down the road and the miles per hour, like it was 20 miles per hour here and then it increased to 30 miles an hour so I can speed up. That's, well, some places like neighborhoods you have to drive that fast because there's children. We don't want to be in. The cause of that. Okay. We'll come back to, is there any other ones for addition? If not, we'll come back to them because I'm sure you'll think of more as we go along. What about subtraction? Caden?
decrease.
Decrease. I wonder where you got that from. Because we just said increase. Okay, what's another one? Addison. Minus. Tori.
Difference.
Difference. I like it. Okay, what's another one? Kylie.
Subtract.
Subtract, just subtract. Okay. Yes, you have another one?
Less
Less than.
That's not lesson.
Okay, now I want you to put a box around less than. Like you're going to write that, and we're going to put less than in a box. We're going to come back to that because that's one of the ones that kind of what we've been talking about depends on what you're asking. Okay, Tanner.
Take away.
Take away. Any other ones? Carry on.
Like loss. Like they lost
Oh.
puppies.
It just depends how you're saying.
Or like you can't lose addition. You can't lose.
Okay, all right. Lost. I'll put it.
Or loss.
Lost. Lost. You know, forever. This is why I'm not English because I thought like you like lose a game is spelled the same way as that, isn't it? I always put 2 O's, but that's not.
That's what was good, dude.
Loose.
Loose. That's not loose. That's why I'm going to school to math and not English. Okay, Carter. You were like got real excited, and I'm sorry I didn't
Less.
call you. Less. Again, that's kind of like the lesson. That's going to depend on that, what you're asking. Now, include on your add addition column more than and put a box around it because that's another one of those special ones that's going to depend on what you're asking. Because, what's an example, Miss Henry, that we could do? Like, with more than and less than. That's like touching.
If Miss McCorkle has $5 more than I have, which amount would have to go first? Her amount or my amount? If I have $5 more than her. Who do we need to know? We need to know hers, right? So we need to know hers first. So it would be hers plus my 5, right? Even though when we read it, it says 5 more than her, right? Her actually has to go first because we need to know how many she has before we can add my 5 to it, right? Same thing with less than. If you eat 4 pieces of pizza less than your friend, whose amount of pizza do you have to know first? Your friend's. Because you're taking 4 less than that. 4 away. 4 away from. Okay? Or if you're adding more than, that means you're adding it to something. Right? Well, you need to know what that something is that you're adding it to in order to know what to start with.
So
Make
just be
sense?
really careful of what it's
And those are very tricky.
Open my glass a second. Ooh, I thought a really good one for add. What about combine? Because didn't we like combine like terms? Didn't we add? Okay. Any more for subtraction? I think we've covered most of them. Kylie. Remove. Okay. And then Jaxie.
Separate.
Separate. I think it's A. No, I don't know. I could be wrong.
Separate.
Separate. Isaac, you have another one?
For add, can I just put like extra? I have 5 extra.
Extra.
Yeah. Extra.
I see extra.
Maybe.
No, that
Maybe.
goes
That might be a
multiplication.
maybe. Maybe. We'll come back to it, okay? How about that? What about division? Tina.
Divide.
Divide. Aw.
That's the only one I know.
That's the only one you know?
Peace.
Carter.
Quotient.
Quotient. Yes. That's a good one. So, now that quotient, Quotient. So if we know quotient, what else should you know, Lance?
Oh, no, I think it's not.
Oh, that's okay, I'll come back to it. What, you have another one?
Yeah.
Okay, what?
When I see like a ratio or a fraction in a problem, I think divide. So, I don't know.
Okay, so like a ratio?
Yeah.
We'll just put ratio, because essentially it is, because like if we're comparing like apples to oranges, miles, I'm about to say something that's going to kind of give it away. Miles per hour. If we say per, that's another way to divide, right? So put per in there, not like per, like that, like per. Aggie, do you have one?
No.
No? I saw her get really excited. Okay. Anybody else know one? Kylie.
I think separation
How about instead of separation, what about grouping?
Yeah.
Because aren't we dividing? We're technically like,
I thought
I
that
have-
definition would do grouping because you're like combining like terms, combining and grouping are basically the same thing.
well, think of it like this. Say I give you $1. I want you to group that dollar into quarters. Are we going to have to group the quarters together? So it would work for dividing, because you're dividing that dollar up into quarters, right? Yes, Tori.
Is 2-1 like the TO or 2 like 9?
Like apples to oranges, like I was saying with the ratio. We'll put that next to per, like oranges per 2, kind of same thing. We'll put that next to it. What about, let's see, what, I wonder if I have another one. Okay. There's another one I haven't heard. Oh, does Aggie have one now? Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, what?
Half of?
Yes.
Because
Because what is, I don't, no, she did.
She just
She
asked me
did.
for confirmation
I promise.
first.
Confirmation. Because half of, if I'm going to take half of an apple, what am I doing to that apple?
Dividing it?
I'm dividing it in half. Okay? There is one that technically could work for division and multiplication, but I haven't heard it yet.
Say
No, I'm gonna give you a letter, because guess what? It's only 2 letters. O. Oh! Tanner! Yes! Yes, And we'll put that in multiplication, too, because, like, 4 of 12, kind of the same thing. Any more?
subtraction.
Oh!
I did too.
Well,
I did too.
whoopsies. Thank you for catching that on. We haven't even done multiplication yet, have we? Oh, well, you
Not there.
gave you one. Any more for division? Just for division. We haven't started multiplication yet. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. What about multiplication? Oh, goodness, Kaden. Multiply. Did I hear me? Trey? Times. Good. Tori.
Was product?
Product. Yes. Okay, what's another one? Lance.
Amount.
What?
Amount.
Amount. That can kind of be everything. Like, that could even go, yeah. Well, that's one of those iffy ones. We'll come back to it. That's a good idea, though. Or it could be all. Well, it could be. You never know. What about anything else for multiplication? Andrew.
I'm just guessing about
Okay.
how much.
How much? Somebody else said that. Again, kind of depends on what you're asking.
I would say if you're talking about like, she bought 5 shirts and they were $2 each.
How much money?
So like each sometimes means multiply, like when they're talking about, if you wanna know how much each one costs, so.
We'll just put
each
that on
could
there.
be divided.
It could be.
Could be.
It depends if it gives you a total, so yeah, you have to be careful with that.
Okay, I have a question. In division, we talked about half of, so it's kind of like half of, it's kind of the opposite. Tanner? close. Oh my gosh. She's really excited and do you know?
I think so.
Okay, Aggie.
Less so? I don't know.
Okay, let's say this. I am blank as old as you. My sister is blank as old as me. Isaac.
Is my turn?
Nope. She's older than me. Carter.
As?
You're close. You're forgetting one word. Aggie.
Twice.
Twice. Like half of half. Like opposite of half would be like twice as. Like I'm not. I don't think I'm twice as. Well, I am twice as old as you. Think about it. No, I'm not. Twice as.
How old are you?
I'm close. I'm kind of close. So twice as is 1. Anything? Oh, do you have another one for multiplication?
Double.
Huh?
Double.
Double. Good. Double and twice as kind of go together. As long with double, what else could we do? Instead of doubling, we could, Tariana, triple, quadruple, whatever else is. That all kind of falls in the same lines. So think of the olds, doubles, triples, olds, quadruples. Okay, let's go on to equal. What are some words that means equal? Tanner. Equal to. Ooh, that hurts. Trey.
Same.
Same. Or same as.
Yeah.
I'll put an as right next to it, like same or same as. Addison?
The product word, I don't really use that one, but
I feel like it would be more multiplication because you're taking a product. Probably not. I'm trying to think of a good way of explaining it, but I think it's just making it easy. Kaden. Amount, okay. Okay, what's another one? CJ. Equal, or just equal to. We'll just put a slash right there. Don't put equal. We'll put equal slash to, like equal to. Is it Gabe? Yes, Gabe. Oh my good golly gosh, I got so excited because didn't we just talk about that? Like, we talked about equivalent ratios. Because equivalent means yes. Okay, in case you need to spell it E-Q-U-I. Equivalent. Equivalent. Good. Lance? Answer? Sure. We'll go for it. Why not? I have space. Carter.
What's that C word that we use on the ratio?
Calculate. The C word.
Starts with a C.
A lot of things.
Are you thinking of are you thinking constant? We'll come back to it. How about that? We'll let that mull over in your brain a little bit. Jaxie. I like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Conclude. Like, you kind of end up with, to conclude, I have 30 students in my class. Like, if I was writing a math paper, and to conclude, and to finish up, to add it all together. Lance. Some?
Yeah. I mean, it means answer for addition.
Is that one of our exceptions? Like, it just depends on what you're asking. Like, sum, if you're adding, I'm adding to, so the sum of my answer is whatever. One of those is going to depend on what you're asking. Because if I have 5 pencils and you take 4 of them, is that a sum? Is my answer a sum? No, because I'm subtracting, right? Okay. Sadie.
Altogether.
All together, yeah. Couldn't that also be addition, if we put all, all together? We have 17 boys and 8 girls, so all together we have however many. I think that's a pretty good list because you're going to want to refer back to this, so I want you to keep it out by you. We've done a really good job. I like our list of what we have all together. think I'm going to use this because those videos make it a little funky. Okay, your voices are off. We're going to skip that. Okay, so today what we're focusing on is all our bell ringers, we've been solving equations. Now we're going to be writing equations. We're going to be given something and we're going to have to try to write out an equation. We're not solving anything today, so you're not doing really any bit like, big math. You're just kind of setting something up to do later. So you're going to have your red one ready. And I'm going to start the timer in a second. I want you to know before you move or anything. It's okay if you don't know it. Just try your best on it. Like it's not meant to be scary or anything. We just want to kind of see where you're at or what you're thinking, because what you could be writing could be the same as somebody else and mean the same thing. Jaxie, do you have a question? Were you here Friday? You weren't here Friday. Okay. You can use ours today. So, a whole number has the property that when half of the number is added to 15, we get the number itself. It's going to be okay. I want you to flip over your red one ready. Just try it. Try to set up an equation for this. An equation has to have what? What was that? Who was that? Tariana? What? It has to have an equal sign. Andrew? Your marker doesn't work. I'll get you. You're welcome. And then you'll show me red when ready. Remember, it's okay to not know. It's not okay to not try, at least.
You're just writing it down. Nope, you're not going to work it out. We'll go over in a second. Just flip it over to red one ready. Show me red when ready. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the timer because most of us have something written down. Try to anyways. Okay, so I'm just going to write some, let me see your responses of what you have. Remember, it is okay that you don't know because we're going to do this together. I'm liking what I'm seeing though. Like you're figuring it out. Okay. So, someone raise their hand, tell me what they put down. Miss Willow, like a willow tree, right?
Okay, make sure I spell it right. Yes, ma'am.
15 minus b equals x.
15 minus what?
b equals x.
Just like that. Gabe, right? Hang on. G-A-B-E. Okay, what'd you have written down?
Put 1/2 plus 15.
Whoa. 1/2, like 1 over 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
plus 15.
Plus 15. Just like that?
Yeah.
That's it? Okay. Aggie?
X equals 15 divided by 2.
X equals what?
15.
Divided by 2?
Yeah.
How did you write that? Like division, like dot dot line?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or did you write it like fraction 15 over 2?
I did that.
Like that. Tariana, hang on. Is it 2 R's?
1 or 2.
2 N's. Just like that?
Yes.
No? Without the O?
Without the A.
Without the A. Okay, what?
I just did it right this one, but I put
That's okay. That's okay.
X divided by 15.
How did you write divided by?
Division dot dot
Line, dot, line, or dot, line, dot.
dot.
Okay.
Yeah, dot.
X divided by what?
15 equals X because it says it's 15. So
I'm glad you're catching on. Addison, last one.
X over 2 plus 15 equals
X over 2, like that. Okay, what?
plus 15 equals x.
All right. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Okay, so we're going to go over this together. You think you did it right? We're going to find out. Did you get it right? I'm going to get so excited. Okay, so I want you to write in your notes off to the side. Step 1, you're going to define the variable. Okay? Define the variable. Write that in your notes. Step 1, define the variable. While you're writing that, who can tell me what our variable is in this question particularly? Isaac?
X.
X. Which right here we have X is a whole number, right? The question says right here, a whole number. That's what we're trying to find, right? So we're calling that X. Has the property that. Does that tell us anything, what we're going to do? Is that very important? It's just a bunch of words on there to try to scare you. Has the property. We don't need to pay attention to that. That when half the number, remember we're starting with X. When half the number is added, let's stop for that. When half the number, so what am I doing? Half the number, look at your list, Tanner. What am I dividing? And our number is X, right? So I'm going to do a fraction bar, X over 2, because we're dividing it by 2. Okay, now it says, we got that far, that was pretty easy, right? When half the number is added to 15, what am I doing? Tori? Adding what? 15 to the whole thing? Okay? We get. What does we get mean? Equal. It means equal. Because we've done all that, and now we get what? The number itself, which is, what, Addison? X. So, that's how we're doing it. We're having a whole number, that's what we started with. When we take half of that, we're adding it to 15. So we're going to take that, add it to 15, and we get X. Who got that right? Did you surprise yourself? Like, you're like, ooh, I wasn't really sure if I got that right, but I actually did it right.
I didn't do the same equation, but like if I figured this one out, I would get this one answer.
Couldn't you also write it like this? Can I also do that? 1/2 of X. I'm still taking half of it, aren't I? It's just written in a different way. Do we see why it's like that? Because isn't that a 1 in front of that X? Divided by 2, that's the same thing. You could have written it either way and it would have been right. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next one. Don't worry about what I've written. I'm gonna erase it here in a second. Erase your red one. Ready? Okay. I'm gonna start the timer. A whole number has the property that when the square of half the number is subtracted from 5 times the number, we get the number itself. Take your time. Remember, the first step is define the variable. Before you start, who can tell me what the variable is? Yes, in just a second. Addison. X. And in this case, our X is what? The whole number. Okay, you can take it from there and I'll get you a new marker, guys. Remember, show me your red when ready. When you're ready. Okay. Go ahead and stop it there. It's most all of us have an answer. All right, show me your responses. Ooh, now, I want you to look around at some of your peers and see what they wrote. Because then you're going to say, oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't realize it was that. Oh. We're going to go over this. Okay. Raise your hand and tell me what you put. Tanner. Wait, let me write your name first. I know I can get your name right because my brother-in-law's name is Tanner. Yes.
X over 2.
Okay, over 2, like fraction bar, over 2.
And I put square right next to X.
Right next to X, like right here?
Yeah. Minus, and then I put parentheses 5 equal X.
Okay. Anybody else put what you put? Just out of curiosity? Because we have matches. Okay.
Oh.
There's this TV show that Miss Embry watches, but I have not watched. That is called The Match Game, where they have correct me if I'm wrong. They have something, they're talking about something, and they try to match it up with somebody else. Like, I like pizza. I think Gabe likes pizza. Does he like pizza? We have a match. Alec Baldwin's on it, you said? I think. Baldwin, some Baldwin. So if you hear us, or Miss Embry, one of us say, you have a match. It's the game. Now I'm just catching on because I think it's fun. Okay. Kylie, are you wanting a new one or do you have the same thing as him? You have a new one. And then I'm going to come back to you, okay? Kylie, did I spell it right? Yes. Okay, what am I doing?
1/2
1/2
x
like that. X right next to it, just like that. Okay.
squared
Where am I putting the squared? By the X. Okay.
the dot for multiplication.
Dot for multiplication.
Parentheses
Parentheses.
5x
5X.
close parentheses equals x.
Wow. Okay. Okay. You may have something what she had? No? Okay. Andrew, I'm coming back to you because you had your hand raised.
X as a whole number.
X as, like just X on its own?
Yeah.
Okay.
1/2 times 5.
How did you write the times?
The dot.
Dot. 5. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Equals X.
Equals X.
No, I had the squared
Oh,
beside the half.
right here?
Yeah.
Okay. We have what Mr. Andrew has? Huh? Do you have that? Match!
No.
No. What do you have?
I have x. Well, the first part is the same. X with 1/2
Mm-hmm.
with exponent of 2.
With the exponent up here? Same thing as him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that. And then I put divided by 5.
How'd you write your divided by 5?
1 with 2.
1 with 2 dots.
And then times x.
Times X. How'd you write your
Dot x.
Huh?
Dot.
Dot. X. Okay. That's it? What are you forgetting? Equals? Remember, because our equations have to have an equal sign in it. The number itself. Okay. All right, those are really good. We're going to go over this a little bit. I really like what I'm seeing. We have some different answers. Which, question, Andrew put X times 1/2 squared. Is that the same thing as 1/2 X squared? If you look at it? No. Do we know why? Tariana.
That is squaring the 1/2,
Mm-hmm.
and if it was like the x, it would be squaring the number.
Perfect. That I couldn't really explain it better myself. Because he put the square next to the 1/2. So he's saying he's squaring the 1/2. Kylie put the exponent of 2 by the x, like she's squaring the x. So our whole number is our x, okay? What's irrelevant? Is there something irrelevant in there that we don't need to pay attention to? Kylie? Has the property, because we don't, that's just scary, we don't like it. Okay. We'll just go ahead and finish it. So, x is the whole number that when we square half of the number. So what do we have to do first? Are we squaring the number first, or are we taking half of the number first? Has that when the square of half the number. Kylie. You have to divide it in half. Because we're squaring, we have to divide that by 2. And then it's telling us we need to square that answer. So do you see why we have to do that first? And guess what? You're going to have to put parentheses around it. Because we have to square that whole answer, whatever it is. But we don't know what it is. Okay? Is subtracted from 5 times the number. What's 5 times the number? What's it look like? Terry on. And you said it a second ago. Like 5 times what? 5 times the number. What's the number? X. It's saying we're subtracting from 5 times the number. So are we taking this answer from 5? Or are we taking 5 from this number? Tanner?
The number is subtracted from 5.
Subtracted from 5. So is it going to go in front of all this? Okay. Reason why. 5. It says when square half the number is subtracted from 5 times the number. That doesn't mean we're taking 5 away from what we just did. We have to take it away from 5. You gonna get that in the same room? And then we get the number itself. What's the number itself? What's the number itself?
The number itself.
Is the whole number, which is x equals x. That's how it's set. That one was a little bit confusing, but we'll go over that a little bit more. Okay, so I want you to clear off your red when ready. Erase the red when ready. If you have one of my markers or Miss Ember's markers, show me the good things. Yes, please. All right, so you're going to put it in your pencil pouch. We're not getting up or anything. You're staying seated. Now listen, please. Yes, sir. Yes, okay. Back to the homework. Your homework says it's on Google Classroom, problem set, page 2 only, okay? This is what your homework is going to be over, kind of what we've done today. Now, it's okay to not know exactly how to do it, but it's not okay to not try. So that means you're not going to come in, what's today, Tuesday? You're not going to come in Thursday and not have anything done. Like, you're going to try it out. Even, it doesn't matter if you've done all, I think there's only 9 problems. If you got 9 of them all written down and you tried, if they're wrong, it's okay. But you're not going to come in here with anything. Now, who can tell me, quit moving, because this is really important. Who can tell me what the, okay, quit moving. Quit moving. Who can tell me what the word coefficient means? Not coefficient, consecutive. Sorry with C. Sorry, that's my fault. Consecutive. What does consecutive mean, Lance? Repeated.
I think that was the word I was looking for.
Do what?
I think that was the word I was looking for.
That was probably what it is. Like, what's the consecutive number of 4? Consecutive means like one after the other. 5. So consecutive number of 5 is 6. So it might ask you what's the next 3 consecutive numbers of 10? 11, 12, 13. Okay? That's going to be on your homework too. Now in a second, that's over your homework part. Now in a second, Miss Embry has given you back your little bell ringer. I'm still going to need those. But before you leave this room, I'm going to need you to answer these 2 questions on the back of your bell ringer. This is silent. We're not talking to our neighbors about it. We're not talking to our neighbors about it. We're not doing anything else other than this.
You will put it in the same location you would the bell ringer. Just do it on the back of your bell ringer.
Bless you.
What are you talking about?